because we also have limited funds, limited resources to drive this idea, or blame the environment to say, this my idea, it will work, this environment, people are not buying, and all of those excuses we give. But the challenge, in my opinion, from experience, is that we are doing the reverse. It is okay to have an idea. It is okay to have thought of a business idea. The first point shouldn't be to rush to launch the idea. It should be to validate whether you have someone who is willing to pay for that idea in the form of a solution. So, in simple terms, what problems will your solution be solving? If in one sentence you can't tell what your solution will be solving, and you can't point 2, 3, 4, 5 people that solution is solving a problem for, then you're in business for yourself, which is what happens a lot of the time. Sometimes you are setting up a good business, but in a wrong environment. Sometimes you're setting up a good business, but in an environment where people who can afford it for the costs that you have placed on it cannot afford it because of their social capacity or social status, whichever. They cannot afford your solution. And I have given this illustration several times. If you go through a lot of our phones, even guys, you see a lot of screenshots of things we want to buy, things we wish to buy, things we'd love to buy. We are screenshotting them not mainly to remember. It's mainly because we can't afford it at the moment. And in a way, it's in our phone. It just gives us some sort of consolation. But again, even when people now have the money to buy that thing, they don't buy it. They buy something else. Because the truth is, they can't just do that one-off spending. That thing is beyond their purchasing power. And so if your business is not structured in a way that you know a market that you're selling to, you know a market that you have put this product out for, you will struggle, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry will come. Some will price you. They have the intent to buy, but they don't have the capacity to buy. They are two different things. I like your post is one thing. Am I willing to convert, to move from just liking to asking you how much is it, when can you deliver, and all of that? That's a secondary conversation. So even on social media, many of us put products and then we get a lot of impressions. People like, people share, people love. Yes, those impressions, metrics, they are good. But if they do not convert to people that are buying your product and services, you are in business for yourself. So this morning, the focus is on how to identify your own markets, how you can tell that this is my market. Because without the market, you're not in business. The business revolves around the paying customer, not how beautiful the product is, not how beautiful your location is, not how premium your service looks. It revolves around the person who is willing to pay you money for that solution. So the first step I would propose, if you want to identify a market, is to first look at the problem. What exactly are you trying to solve? If you write that down, what exactly you're trying to solve, it will help you list clear problems you think the customers you want to solve that problem for have. Maybe 3 to 4, maybe 2 to 5, as the case may be. But list the problems you want to solve, that you think the people you want to solve it for have. And then in that immediate environment where you are, ask, say, between 10 and 20 people how they currently solve that problem, because you have identified the problem and you have asked yourself some questions about the problem. Now go out there and find 10 to 20 people who have that problem, or who you think have that problem, and ask them how they are currently solving that problem. Because if the solution you want to bring is not any different from the one they already have, then there is no point following you. We have several detergents in the market. Each of them have a value proposition if you take time to observe them. It's either they are cheaper, or they are offering you cleaner fabric, or they are offering you long-lasting fabric. There is something each is bringing to the table that makes them unique in their own way. So if you find 10 to 20 people who have a problem you want to solve, ask them how they are currently solving that problem. Because if you know how they are currently solving the problem and you analyze it, you could find gaps in between how the problem is currently being solved. Those gaps are what you want to fill, because you're not reinventing the wheel. There is nothing you want to do that somebody else is not already doing in some way. And so once you understand how they are currently solving the problem, you're able to close the gaps in between. Those gaps you're closing is your own value proposition to the market. So let's assume a particular detergent has only 50 kg. And then you ask people who use that detergent, and they tell you the detergent is good, but it comes in only 50 kg. Once you open it, preserving it is a problem. Because it comes in only 50 kg, it is expensive. These are genuine customer feedback. When you go into the same detergent space, will you be coming up with 25 kg, 20 kg, 15 kg, 10 kg, or smaller sachet? So the whole essence of asking people how they currently solve their problems is to find ways to plug into the same problems and fix it better. Now, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, these problems that I want to solve, are they problems that are urgent? Are they severe? Are they frequent? If the problem is not a frequent problem, it means that nobody will pay you regularly for it. People will pay you once in a while. If the problem is severe, it means that people are willing to pay for it. If the problem is frequent, it means that people will pay regularly for it. So for example, people eat every day. Whatever problem you want to solve in the food space, people eat every day. So that is a frequent problem that requires a frequent solution. Health-related issues also have frequent solutions and severe challenges or pains that need equal solution. If you check that, the next question you would ask yourself is, with the information I have now, is this a viable market? I have discovered a problem. I have discovered people who have that problem. They have told me how they currently solve that problem. Based on the solution that I have, do I stand a chance in this market? If I come up with my own solution, will these people buy from me if I am solving all the other problems associated to this problem that their current solution provider is not solving? Will they buy from me? How many people are willing to buy from me? When you begin to ask yourself these questions, you talked to between 10 and 20 people. Based on their feedback, you decide to talk to another set of 20 people. As you do that, you're gradually validating the market, because the more people who say yes to you, based on the price range you're willing to sell, you already have an idea of the people that can readily patronize you if you go into that business. So you can decide whether it is a viable business or not. Now, this process can also be done online. That is, it can be done digitally. It can also be done offline. So a one-on-one conversation, you can fill forms and you can develop forms and give people to fill, and then take that feedback to plan your market. The next thing is to define your customer segment, which was the first question you asked me when I came in. You need to define your market. So you may have seen people who have interest to buy what you're selling. You may have seen people who are interested in the solution you're offering. But away from that, everybody that said yes to your solution will not be your customer. Some of them, even if you provide more features to the solution you're providing, if you provide more benefits, some people do not easily cross over. I think I'm one of those kind of people, because all my devices, the last I checked, were gotten from one shop. Over the years, I buy from just one place. That is not to say other people do not sell cheaper. I mean, I've seen people who sell cheaper, but I just have that staying power with the customer. As long as you have not done something that should throw me off, I can afford what you're offering me at the amount you're offering it. Because somebody else offers it cheaper doesn't mean I have to go to the other person. So there are customers like that. You need to now categorize your customer. So I have seen people who say my solution is good. I have seen people who say they can buy. I have seen people who say they will buy. So who exactly am I targeting? Because this is how I want to sell it. This is how I want to package it. And because I'm packaging it this way or that way, this is the extra cost that may come on it. So who exactly am I in business for? Who exactly am I targeting? In that market, in every market, there is in simple terms, there is the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. So who exactly will you be selling to? Are you selling to students? Are you selling to stay-at-home parents? Are you selling to working class people? Are you selling to professionals? Are you selling to creatives? Are you generally selling to young people? Are you selling to the hip and upcoming young people? Are you selling to the trendy people? There are categories and subcategories of customers. Use that to gauge the range of people I want to sell to. She wants to scale from where she is. She's okay with where she is, but it's time to move on. It's time to expand the sales. Let's move to the next level. That was why she reached out. So that person is an example of someone who understands that I am selling to young people. I am selling to students, but I'm not selling to all the students on campus. I'm selling to a specific group of students on campus. In that campus, they may be the middle class. In that campus, they may be the upper class. In that campus, they may be the lower class. So you would pick your class, because the whole essence of classifying this classification is so that we can tell their purchasing power. How frequently do they buy? How frequently can they buy? Are they people who would want to owe us? If they owe us, do they have the capacity to pay on time? Because that's another thing in business. You must anticipate that clients will owe you. But for how long can your business manage that debt is another conversation. Sometimes I know a lot of small businesses, like people who are into thrift, who get products from Lagos, Aba, Onitsha, and all of those places. As soon as their clothes come, they advertise on their WhatsApp status, on Instagram, or Facebook. The people come and take all of these things on credits. And then they begin to wait for repayments so they can go to the market again. Because you can't really gauge it properly. And so some people pay, some do not pay. Sometimes the people who pay on time are less than the people who do not pay, and so they don't have enough to go to the market again. So they are stuck. And then those who paid early are saying, when are you going to the market again? I need new stuff. And they are saying, we are still recovering our funds. When we recover enough, we will go. You see that window that they are waiting for you to recover. If somebody else advertises what you sell and the price is good and they buy from that person, you have lost that customer.
True.
So even as a small business, targeting your market, identifying your market, you also need to put all of these things into consideration. How much of our goods can we comfortably sell on credit? So that even if these monies don't come on time, with the other ones we are selling for cash, we can go to the market, come back, and continue our trade while we recover these other debts. It's very important. And so once you are able to define who your customer is, you can narrow it down to location if your business is a physical location. Even if it is not a physical location, you can narrow it to location digitally, because there is a very high precision rate when it comes to target marketing online. You can also target a specific location. You can do sponsored ads for Yanagua. You can do sponsored ads for Bayelsa. You can do sponsored ads for Port Harcourt. You can pick locations, and so you can target based on locations if that works for your business. You can consider behaviors. You can consider spending patterns. The people who you're targeting, are they spending frequently? Do they spend once in a while? The once in a while people are the salary earners. They don't spend until the month ends. So 2 weeks to the end of the month and 1 week after the end of the month is your trading space. So from the middle of the month, you start advertising what you want them to buy. So they put you in the budget. And then by the end of the month, you're part of the budget. If their salaries don't come by the end of the month, it comes in the first week of the new month. So you have 2 weeks to recover your money. You have 2 weeks to sell. So if that is your target market, that's the strategy you now develop for that target market. So you need to understand their spending patterns. You need to understand their behaviors. And then on your own, all of these things are not done in your head. You need to document them. And so you describe them. The people you're targeting now, you need to describe them by age, by income, by needs, by frustration, what triggers buying. Some people don't have what triggers buying. They buy when they buy. For example, there are people who are compulsive buyers. A new phone came out today, they must buy. Nothing is wrong with the phone they use, but they must buy a new phone. Oh, there is this new fashion trend that is out there. Nothing is wrong with what they have, but they must have it. If those are the kind of people you target, fine, you need to list them. We call it your customer persona. So it is like an imagination or an imagined image of who you want to sell to. So you can give it a name if you like. There's the age, there's the location, spending power, spending habits, income range. You put all of that into consideration. And then if the segment is too broad, you can break it down. Again, you can break it down to the people who spend frequently, the people who spend occasionally, or you can break it down into the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. You can do all that. Number 3, follow the money. When targeting a market, what you like does not matter. I say this a lot. In business development, what you like generally does not matter. It is what would get the paying customer to commit that matters. So you don't build business around your emotions. You don't build business around what you like. You don't build business around what you feel or how you feel. Those are not primary. What is primary is how the customer behaves, what the customer needs, what triggers the customer, where is the customer. Those are the things that should matter to you. And so we have looked at 2 points. The third point is following the money. Following the money means that you must identify people who are already spending to fix that problem that you want to bring a new solution to. You're not looking for new customers. You're looking for people that are already existing in that space. And so if I want to fix the issue of detergents, and the current detergents in the market are 50 kg, I am not looking for new people who want to buy detergents. I'm looking for people who are already buying detergents. And I want to offer them a better product, a better solution. Cheaper, maybe more durable, maybe with better outcomes. So I'm looking at the same people. And because they are already existing users of detergent, it's easy for them to compare and arrive at a solution as to whether they want to stay where they are or they want to move to the new product. So you must follow the money. Go where people are already spending. Go where people are already spending for the product, for the problem you want to fix. That's where you should be looking at. That's where the people who will buy from you are spending their time. And then the next thing you look at is, who are the top 3 competitions in this thing that I want to provide a solution for? Every market has competitions. They can be direct or indirect. An indirect competition to detergent is the person that produces toilet soap. The direct competition to the person who produces detergent is another company that produces detergent. But if I do not use detergent, I can use bar soap. Now, there are soaps that are made specifically for laundry. And then there are the ones we call toilet soap that you can also bathe with. So the soap that is both for bathing and laundry is a very high competition to the bar soap that is just there for laundry. Because it means that if I buy soap for laundry, I have to also buy soap for bathing. But now somebody is saying that the soap that I bathe with, I can also do laundry with. You'll be helping me solve 2 problems with 1 solution. And so this other person is a high competition to the other person who sells just soap for laundry. In the same vein, both of them are indirect competitions to the detergent person. So whatever sector you find yourself, whatever subsector you find yourself, you must ask that question. Who are the top competitors in this space that I want to go into? They are the ones you would use to prime the solution you want to put into the market. Who are the top competitors in this space? Who are the top alternative? You must note how frequently people buy from them and what their price ranges are. So you use their price ranges to gauge the solution you're bringing into the market. You use the frequency of the people who buy from them to gauge the frequency that you need to meet. Because it is the same market you want to sell to. If there is no spending pattern, you're going to get a weak market. A market that you cannot determine the spending pattern, you cannot validate the spending pattern, you are most likely going to have a weak market, a docile market, a market that buys periodically. And for a small business that is just taking off, you need people who will buy from you consistently. At this point, I think we can take questions.
All right. If you have any questions for Dr. Harry Pobeni, the call lines they're open 0912 0001975 or 0707 747 1522. I take the numbers again 0912 0001975 or 0707 747 1522. You can as well drop a message on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0912 0001975. Yes, I take it again 0912 0001975. Let's take this call. Okay, we lost that call. All right, you can give us a call back. The call line is 0912 0001975. Hello, good morning. All right, should be network. Please keep calling or just drop a message on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0912 0001975. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pancha.
Okay, what's your name?
Good morning, sir. My name is Joel.
All right.
Good morning, Joel.
Sir, please, I just want to confirm something. I just want to set my wife up by January, and I just want to ask if she can be saving kind of akawo from the business as it's starting. Is it right for him to start saving or selling and go to market at the same time? I just want to know. Please help me, sir.
Yes, so the compulsory contribution or compulsory savings is one of the easiest ways for businesses to put aside something from their profits. Because the business is just starting, let's assume that the business makes 5,000 naira as profits daily or weekly. That 5,000 naira, the business can save 2,000 naira in a compulsory saving and put 3,000 naira back into the capital and go to the market. The more products the capital can get from the market, the more profit the business can make. So if the business, for example, starts with 20,000 and makes 5,000, you save 2 or 3,000 and you put the balance back with the 20,000 and go to the market. So now you're going to the market with either 22,000 or 23,000. You do that again. You do that consistently. Your capital will keep growing from 23 to 25 to 27 to 30. It keeps going. The more capital you have, the more things you can buy to sell. The more things you can buy to sell, the more profit you can make. So even the savings will also grow as the capital grows. So yes, it is a good initiative to put aside something from the business while the rest goes back into the business to buy more goods.
All right, so we're still in the studio with Dr. Harry Pobeni. He's a business consultant and he's just enlightening us on how to define your markets. He has successfully told us how to, what a market is, market size and viability. But there's some people, okay, before my question, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name is Arabiga Igbo.
Okay, that's a very long name. Any short form?
Arab.
Okay, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ombia.
Welcome.
Ibama.
Welcome. So,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, do you have any questions for Dr. Harry?
Doc, I don't know. Do you mean that if I have been clear? Sorry. My phone has fallen down.
Okay.
You see, my wife, too, like a little sister, has some make to fry some of these things and sell them out. People used to come and carry them out or pick some behind.
So I don't want to. I just want to see if I can tonight or maybe arrange it so that the excess supply I bring to the and then there's one.
Speak up. You need to speak up, and you also need to be quite clear, because we are struggling to understand what you're trying to pass across. So please, you need to rephrase. You need to be clearer, and then try to be concise so that we are able to answer your question properly. Please.
Okay. Sorry. Just, you know what? Just give